All right, what's going on, guys? So it's been a very long time, like 2 to 3 months, I think, since the last video I made. Really, it came down to, there was a few things of why I didn't post, but mainly it was like, I moved out, got really out of routine, and then took like a 2 to 3 week break from just not posting, and then the whole routine went out the window, and then it was just like very hard to keep posting. And one other big reason was there was just a lot of resistance for some reason to do any work on my own for some reason. Like I just didn't really want to, and it was very weird. And I was thinking like, I'm like thinking about doing the work and I'm getting like this intense stress feeling about doing it. So I'm like, okay, this is probably not a good feeling to have when you were supposed to do this out of enjoyment. And it just felt like the enjoyment was gone. And I even felt the last few videos, I was pretty much doing the work just so I had something to post in the video, and it wasn't even necessarily because I wanted to, and like things were starting to feel like a chore a little bit, which is obviously never good when it's supposed to be a side project that you're doing out of enjoyment. So, and honestly, part of it was like, I didn't even want to say that because, I don't know, I just, like, who really cares at the end of the day, but it's also a good glimpse of like, not everything is super exciting. Maybe you guys feel the same way of your project. Sometimes it feels like a chore. I feel like it goes up and down. Sometimes I'm feeling really energized about it. Sometimes I'm like, couldn't care less about it, which is funny. But anyways, if you guys are new here, this is basically my series where I'm documenting from completely zero to building a startup that hopefully turns into something. And the whole key thing is, it's like whatever project I'm working on now, it's like, yeah, that's kind of the main focus, but it's like all things, it's never the first thing you do is never the one that works out. So it's almost the whole, I'm trying to capture the whole journey of like starting at literally from nothing, no experience, to working on projects that might work out, might not work out, but then just kind of keep scaling or pivoting and, you know, going to different ideas, like just trying to capture the whole kind of journey into one series. So also, yeah, since I moved out, this is the new room I'm in. It's honestly really small, hold on, but it does the job just for the office, so it's kind of nice. This is honestly driving me nuts. I posted a post on like the community section just about the setup, I think, but the wire management, just like, look how bad that is. You know what, I did mount the power bar at the bottom. Look at that, that's a book holding up my monitor stand, but I did mount the power bar, which is kind of nice because I can now raise and lower my desk without having to worry about because before the power bar would just kind of levitate, and I'm like, you know what, let me just get some command strips. So I stuck that out. So that's step one, I think, of wire management, but still clearly a long way to go. I really wanted to get that ultra wide monitor. I think I touched on that in my last video, just to get a 49 inch monitor, replace all of these monitors, because it would be so much nicer to only have like 2 cables instead of 6 for just my monitors. But at the same time, like $2,000 is a little bit steep to throw on a monitor. So yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But yeah, this is basically the room. Just a little square, but you know, does the job. I was doing a lot of brainstorming, probably for a next idea, but I'll probably talk about that in another video or my next video or something like that. But yeah, I don't want to sway too much off the topic for it right now. Basically, the project I'm working on right now is pretty much a feedback community page. The way I like to describe it best is like if you took Circle and Canny and combined them, because you have the community aspect with like your different spaces, but then you also have like your roadmap for like bug feature requests, bug reports, kind of all this, but then on top of it, like you can just have kind of a community behind your product as well, where you can talk about pretty much anything product related. And a big thing that I want to do is just make it like affordable for like solo devs or small teams, because all the solutions out there that are kind of similar are usually pretty expensive. So I wanted to make one that is pretty much free to use if you're a solo dev, or a smaller team, like super cheap. So yeah, I did end up getting this landing page. I think this is totally new. I was going to, if you watched my last videos, you've seen that I designed like the whole marketing site out pretty much fully, but it didn't make sense. I was literally just about I was about to start the marketing site, developing it. I'm like, why am I spending all this time when there's so much other stuff I have to do for the app? Why am I spending so much time building out this full marketing site right now? Like, it just made no sense to me. So I just literally, that's all it is. It's just a page. I don't even care if it's super informative right now, because I just wanted to have something for now. And then this is set up to MailerLite, so when you put your name and email in, it'll subscribe to the email list, which is kind of cool. But that's basically all this is, and then you can sign up. but I turned off the signing up. So you can only log in. You can't sign up right now. But I did change this. So these two login pages look different. So I changed those up, just, I don't know, more basic, I think. The Stripe integration is fully done. I'm sure a lot of you guys are very happy to hear that, because literally I think the last 4 videos I was trying to do the Stripe integration. So it's fully working now. Totally, like, no, like I don't think there's any holes in it. Maybe there is, but like it's all working for what I want it to do. You can upgrade, downgrade, whatever. I have this Stripe subscription, like the management thing. So now you can manage the subscription through this little portal. I honestly didn't even know this existed, the billing portal. But you can, like, Stripe pretty much handles all of this for you. So you don't have to worry about any of like the updating, canceling. Like this is just hosted by Stripe. So that made it much easier. And I think in the last video I was talking about the flow of everything, like getting the teams and the projects flowing better, like I guess to have 2 separate pages. So now there's a team section where you can click on your team, and then now you can view your projects here, which I still have to change this about, this is just placeholder. And then you can have team members, and then your projects are here. And then also projects can also have members as well. So it's kind of completely separate. And then you can manage your spaces here as well. So that's honestly probably all of the updates that I can think of right now off the top of my head. There's probably some other small things here and there, but I spent a lot of time refactoring a lot of things, because it's funny how like I haven't even been working on this for like relatively that long, but like even going back now and looking at the stuff, like the code I've written, it's like there's stuff that is just done in a way that like doesn't make sense. So I've been doing a lot of refactoring. I've been doing a lot of work on making everything server side, because I just didn't want to use Supabase, like the Anon key, even though you can use it on the client. I wanted to just put it all on the server to see if that changes anything. But another thing that I've noticed, and I thought it was just a development thing, with Next.js, it loads so slow. So I've been like almost in a rabbit hole the last few weeks trying to figure out how to fix that. Like I click and there's not immediate feedback, which is annoying, because when I was using Vite or Vite, it's like instant, you know? So it's like, I just hate this little delay. Like it just feels terrible. And some pages are worse than others. Like if I go, this will probably be slow, project settings. Like it just, like it should be instant, you know? Like why am I waiting this long? So there is a lot, like billing is terrible, but there's a lot of things like that I was trying to look into to clean up, which I didn't really get too far. I know you can wrap it in like suspense and stuff, but even when I was doing that, it wasn't working that well. So it was kind of a whole rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to get that working more efficiently, which ate a lot of the time, because it was like, I know like the whole thing of you shouldn't be optimizing yet, but that to me is just horrible user experience. Like if I click, I want like immediate feedback, you know? Like why, like look how long that takes. Like, and there's nothing even fetching on this page. So it's like, I don't know what's taking so long. So I don't know, that's something that I've been kind of honestly probably prioritizing just a little bit, because yeah, I'm not a fan of how slow that everything's loading. But as far as like features go, like there's a few bugs I have to fix, like upvoting problems with the state, redesign the homepage, because yeah, this it only shows the teams, but you also should see what projects you're a part of, because you could be on a team or you could be on a project that you're not a part of the team for that project. So, and if you're just a user using this, you want to see the projects. You obviously aren't using that app for your own stuff, you're just contributing. So you should be able to see your projects here. But yeah, so like I said, I got a new job, which has been going good. But a reason why I've kind of been losing motivation to work on this stuff is like, because like all new jobs, there's always like a load of information that you have to learn. Like it's always mentally demanding at the very beginning until you kind of get used to it. So I feel like I'm starting to slowly get more used to it now. But at the beginning it was like, I mean, of course there's still stuff that I don't know how to do, and that's just, it's a lot of mental demand to figure stuff out, but it's better now than it was. But before it's like, I would finish a work day and like, obviously I'm coding all day, or at least thinking about coding. The last thing I wanted to do after that work day was to do more coding. So I just wouldn't. And it was like even more of a chore to kind of work on my own things. So that was definitely a factor. I think in one sense it's good to kind of have, you know, a job. If you don't have like a secure job right now, it's good to have that security to like, now you can look at your side projects in like a safer light, because, or a different lens, because you're not as like, oh, I need to make this work. It's almost like you can pretty much do it just out of enjoyment, which is probably the number one reason why you should be doing it in the first place. But I think the last few months, the last few videos, I was losing that because of my whole job situation. So it was like, I was really like, there was a lot of urgency behind the side projects, which took the fun right out of it, and it was almost doing this because I needed it to work rather than just wanting to do it and have fun with it. So I think I was a little bit burnt out, honestly, and then I took like 2 weeks off, completely reset. It was pretty good, but still just like, I don't know what it was, losing interest in the project maybe. Wasn't super excited, but it was kind of just still that chore feeling where it's like, I thought about doing the work, but it just felt like a chore. I thought to myself, like, if I'm doing anything that I quote unquote should want to do, why does it feel like a chore, right? And then that was a whole other rabbit hole of like, do I even enjoy what I'm doing? Like, what do I even enjoy doing? It was like, it took a while to kind of wrap my head around like what to even do next. And it was like in this gray area of like not doing anything because I didn't know what to do. So yeah, it was honestly, these past few weeks have been pretty weird, honestly, pretty weird weeks. But it got me thinking that like I still really missed having the routine of doing something and having kind of an overarching goal, whatever that is, just having something to chase towards, because it's like I have fitness goals, but like they've never really been super long term, or I don't know, like I've been doing it so long, it's just part of my lifestyle now, and like it's not really like necessarily a good goal that I want to strive towards. It's just a part of my life. So it wasn't that fulfilling to do anything fitness related. And I do think having a side project you're working towards, it's fulfilling to have something you're working towards every day. Like you can wake up and you know you're going to be working towards this one thing. And it's just, I was missing that. And I was missing that routine. I was missing chasing something. Every day was the same of just like working and then wasting the evenings, quote unquote wasting the evenings watching like Netflix or something, or like playing games. And it's like, I was just like feeling so dull. And I'm like, there's got to be more to this. Like I moved out, I'm on my own again. And I'm like, I'm not even taking advantage of it. So that was a big eye opener where it's like, okay, I just need something to like strive towards. And just something that's like, I don't know, that's fulfilling. Almost like a purpose, but like, I don't know. I just feel like I was lacking that after I stopped posting and kind of lost interest. But I think a lot of it comes down to like the whole idea of the project you're working on, because it can be either exciting or boring. And let's face it, like a feedback platform is like pretty boring. If you think about like in terms of ideas, it's pretty boring. And I felt like it wasn't, I don't know. It's hard to say because I lose interest in things so fast. So it's like, I don't want to keep jumping around to things, but I was like, okay, maybe if I explore an idea that resonates more with like my problems that I face like on a day-to-day, that like maybe I'd have a stronger why behind it. Because that was the other thing. I feel like I just didn't have a strong why behind doing it. And I started this when I was like kind of in that urgency state where I need something to work. And I was like, oh, feedback platforms, people on Twitter are making these things work. How hard could it be? But it's like, it just defeats the whole purpose of doing it just for the outcome, because you're going to first lose out to everyone who's doing it because they genuinely want to do it and enjoy it. And it's just, what kind of life of that is that, just chasing an outcome, which we all know that no outcome is going to be fulfilling. So it's like, if you're not enjoying the process of it, I think you just shouldn't even do it. So anyways, that kind of led me to brainstorm some more ideas. There was some stress of like, oh, like I don't have any ideas. Like, what am I going to focus on next? And like, oh, what do I do? But I think I landed on one, which I might talk about in this video, we'll see. But long story short, I think that idea, I'm only doing it to help myself. And it was pretty much, I think it would help avoid what situation I got into with the burnout and stuff. So, and I feel like I've just always been more kind of always gravitated towards that kind of area more. And I would genuinely only be doing it because I want to explore that area. But with that said, I do want to finish this up so at least I can use it. And you pretty much use this for that next one. I don't know. I think there's been a lot of back and forth in my mind that I gotta figure out. But yeah, there's no rush to it. I think a big thing is everyone always rushes, and like I'm the number one example of rushing things and wanting to rush things and like needing to focus on something now, or like needing to, like, I don't know, there's just no or there's so much urgency, and there doesn't have to be. I think it's good to a certain extent, but when you're stressing out constantly and it takes you out of the present moment because you're like worried about not having an idea to pursue or not knowing what your main purpose is right now, like you're just living your life in a constant state of like anxiety and stress, and it's just no way to live. So on one hand, I am wanting to strive towards finding new ideas, but on the other hand, I think I really want to focus on how to like live more presently and kind of get away from this whole hustle culture by still working hard, but just not letting it consume you, which is also the next idea that kind of ties into that as well. But yeah, anyways, I'll probably talk about that a little bit more later on in this video. But yeah, anyways. So with that said, I don't want to bore like with too much talking head stuff in this video, but I think what I'm going to do, because I need some sort of urgency to kind of get this to a state that is somewhat usable, even just for myself. So I'm going to give myself 2 weeks. I don't know if 2 weeks is too soon. It might be a little bit tight, especially, okay, I'm going to be busy one weekend, so I'm going to give myself 3 weeks. And this is just me on the fly right now thinking about this. 3 weeks to fully wrap this up and get it into a working state, somewhat like just MVP working state, which honestly it pretty much is. There's just like some things I need to tweak. But 3 weeks, so what is 3 weeks from now? So June 21st is going to be my goal to get this wrapped up. And I'm going to post every week. That's going to be really tough to get back into the routine of things, but I'm going to post every week, at least to get this posted or to get this wrapped up. And then once I have that goal done, then I can start thinking about like working on the other idea that I want to. But I just hate the idea of like just dropping this, especially since I will use it. Like I will use this for myself for sure later on. So I just want to get into a decent state to where I can. And then after that, then I can explore other options. But I think that'll be a good starting point. 3 weeks, fully wrap this up, get everything totally polished. I'm gonna have to work pretty hard these next 3 weeks, but I honestly kind of need that to kind of kickstart, be back in the routine. So first step, clean up the board, because the board from all the sprints, I'm pretty sure there's like nothing. There's some things that are in the other sprints, but these are like multiple sprints that all combined because I missed them all. So I'm gonna clean this up and then just start getting to work right away. So yeah, add delete button for posts, really straightforward. But like I said, everything kind of in here is more like it's kind of small, so it won't be too big of a feat to do this in 3 weeks. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next update. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and then yeah, we'll see what we're working on after this. Just for the main updates right now, there hasn't been anything too crazy, but just, oh, you can't even see that. Still can barely see that, but anyways, just have the project showing up now. So now you can be on a team, but then also be a part of projects that you're not a part of the team for, or that you are, but all of them show up here now. And then my screen is super dusty. That's great. I just changed this up a little bit, and then now you can delete posts. And then, so that works. And then now I'm pretty much just working on building out the team page, because there's project members, since they're separate now, there's project members and team members. So these are the project members here, and then the team members are in this team setting, which I have to do. Pretty much redo all the logic again from scratch. Just literally will look the same for right now, but then you have to make sure you can't leave a team. Like if you're the only person there, and then like promoting and demoting and all that. So I'm gonna have to do all that logic. Another thing I was working on as well is getting these comments to re-render when, like, so it works if I type a comment here, the comment will show up right there, but the replies don't until I refresh for some reason. So I have to go in. It's probably just some state issue that I'll have to do. All right, so I pretty much broke everything because I can't even demo to show it because it just keeps erroring. But basically, to sum it up, I was trying to fix up the team members table to make sure that you can, the same logic as the project members, you can leave the team, change the roles, remove people, and it was going really well because it was super easy just replicating the same logic that I already did. But then I don't even know why I chose to do this, but so for the projects, on the projects table, there's no owner ID. It's just like, I just have a relational table, project members, and then the roles are here. And that's how I manage like the role-based management stuff, because the project just references this role. And then when I made teams afterwards, when I was doing the refactoring, I don't remember why I chose to do this. I already deleted it, but I had an owner ID column. And this was complicating it. Because basically when you leave a team, there's a check to make sure that if you're the only owner on the team. But then it doesn't really, like, it just gets complicated because if there's another owner on the team, let's say there's 2 owners now, so it satisfies that requirement, and you leave, well, okay, you left, it succeeds, but the owner ID doesn't, there can be multiple owners. So it would be like this weird state of this team still showing the old owner ID, but the real owner or the owner's not even on the team. But now that I think about it, I just sort of tried removing it and refactoring it again, but I think I could have just done it with having a team only to have one owner, which I think makes sense now that I think about it, but I already removed it all and edited a bunch of stuff because I guess why would you want multiple owners? And then in that case, since there's only going to be one owner, you can just transfer ownership and it'll just update that column that I removed. Yeah, maybe I should have just done that, which I think was my original plan, but it's been so long that I totally forgot about that. And I've already removed the column, changed a bunch of the functions because a lot of them are referencing that column. Yeah, so now I have to rethink that because now everything's broken and I have to kind of track down everything that uses it and fix it, which shouldn't be too bad, but now I'm thinking maybe it would have been a better idea to leave it, and maybe I'll just end up putting it back in. And then the logic, instead of checking if there's at least one owner, it would just be you just have to make someone else owner, and then when you do that, it swaps their ID with your ID, which I think makes sense. Or I can just keep going down this route with the multiple owners for the team. But yeah, as an update, this one's almost done now, besides figuring out all what I just broke. Redoing the post-modal comment fetching, that was like the inefficiencies I was talking about in the last clip yesterday. And then a lot of bugs that I found. So I'm gonna have to focus on getting, hopefully they're pretty quick, but yeah, I'm gonna focus on those next. All right, I'm probably gonna end the video here because I wanna give myself enough time to edit the clips, and I know this is already a pretty long video. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Yeah, like I said, I was gonna do one every week until June 21st at least, the bare minimum. So yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys next week.